Hello. Have you ever been involved in a debate on a personal level or perhaps on a societal level where you just can't understand where the other person or people are coming from? You know, for example, there's a big issue obviously going on with Adam Goods in Australia at the moment, and you know you might feel like you're from another planet because you just don't understand where these people are coming from. Well, you're not from another planet, but you probably, possibly, could be from a different values level. And this is a model the model I'm introducing you to tonight is a model that Nelson Mandela says was very instrumental in helping South Africa through apartheid. And it's a system of thought which allows us to understand the way other people are thinking and the way that they're behaving as well. And you can see this in issues all around the world, you know, like conflicts in Africa, Middle East, United States. You can just see, you know, the different values levels of the different civilizations and different people involved in any debate, I suppose. So just before we get into it, I'll go through this as quickly as I can. This is probably about a 1 hour presentation normally, but I'll go through it as quickly as I can. It's important to understand that you've got to go through one level to get to another. And each level is a response to the inadequacies of the level beforehand. So, you know, something's not working, so people move on to the next one. Now, this is a really important point. People operate from the level where they get their answers to life's problems. So, you know, according to circumstances, you respond in different ways. And in this debate with Adam Goods, it's important to realise that it's hard to see, especially in these first few levels, it's hard to see the value beyond where you are now, because you know if you're happy somewhere, you know why would you change? Why would you look for anything else? And so, you know, the people here on these levels just can't understand what these people are on about. You know, they just think they should chill out and stop taking life so seriously. You know, so that's really important distinction. And you might see yourself in different levels. So let's get into it. I'll go through the first couple quickly because they're not as relevant to this debate. But level one is about survival, and we're talking about newborn babies here. You know, might be people with Alzheimer's or, you know, heavy drug dependency, where it's all about survival. But traditionally, you know, eventually it's easier to survive when people band together, and that's what they did. They banded together and they formed tribes. And the modern day version of that, there's still tribes around the world, of course, but families. A good example of that, and also football supporters, funnily enough. And this is all about a strong leader or a chief in a position of authority. So, you know, someone like Nathan Buckley or Eddie Maguire for the Collingwood tribe. And this is all about sacrificing for the good of the tribe. Then what happens is young bucks break away, and a good example of this is like teenagers, for example. And they move on to level 3, which is red, and it's about power and dominance. And you can sum this up with the 3 Fs. It's about feeding, fighting, and fucking. And this is about power, dominance, aggression, and instant gratification. And these people don't really live by any great ethics, you know, but they just hate getting told what to do. They have the attitude, you know, I'll do what I want. And you see, like, a lot of this, you know, you go out on a Saturday night, you'll see stacks of this, you know, people operating from this values level, and you're seeing a lot of this in the debate about Adam Goods as well. The strongest, the baddest, the toughest rule. But then what happened traditionally is that there's always someone tougher, and so rules needed to be put into place. You know that you got a sheriff in the town, for example, and you move on to level 4, which is blue, and that's about rules and hierarchy. And the best examples of this are religions in this day and age, you know, Catholicism, Islam, all sorts of Christianity. But also a traditional working week, you know, where you go to work for someone, that sort of comes under this as well. And it's basically one way, the right way, the only way. It's the rule of law, and you obey the higher authority. There's a lot of structure to it. And basically they think that if you sacrifice now, you'll get a reward later. And that's what happens with the religions. You know, you get to go to heaven if you're a very good little boy or girl. And you know, on a work level, on a corporate level, you know, you might get a gold watch after 50 years or something like that. You sacrifice now for the good of the company, and then you get a gold watch. But some people don't want to wait for that, and so they go out on their own basically and striving for achievement, and that's the next level, level 5, which is orange. And these people see the world as a playing field. So it's about success, it's about winning, they're very goals orientated. It's a very strategic level. So, you know, we're looking at sports, for example, athletes and entrepreneurs too, you know, like your really driven small business owners, for example. But what happens after a while is many discover that there's a certain emptiness in that, and they go looking for connection, and that leads on to the next values level, which is about groups and causes. And this is playing a huge part in this Adam Goods debate. So these people are about connection amongst people, about feeling good and you know, being a part of something. And their core values are fairness and equality, and so racism is a really big part of that, sexism's a lot of that. They want to eradicate poverty and just any sort of divisiveness, you know. They're good people, they believe we're all equal, and they believe in loving everyone. The issue comes, and this is what we've seen a lot in this debate, in my opinion, is that they can be quite controlling. They tend to love everyone who loves everyone. So if you're one of them, it's fine. But if you have a different opinion, if you disagree with them, then they can come down quite harshly on you. And I think we've seen a lot of that in this debate, and it's not doing anyone any favours, you know. So because you can imagine, like, if these people are telling it how it should be, and these people up here are just saying, get fucked, basically, you know what I mean, fuck off. We do what we want, and you know, chill out anyway. Why take life so seriously? That's the attitude. But these people here just don't seem to be able to see that. And so what we've seen this week is just article and article and article telling people how they should act. And then there's a growing unrest, I think, in people from these levels getting told what to do. Because what's happening is, as soon as anyone who disagrees with these people on any issue, this is not just about this Adam Goods thing. This is happening, you know, with gay marriage, hunting, you know, the boat people, all sorts of different issues. You know, people are getting told what to do, and they're uneasy with that, because, and they might have a different opinion to these people, but they get labelled as racist or homophobe and that sort of thing. It's not always the case. They've just got a different opinion to what's being pushed in the media, and it's getting pushed very hard from this level, I think. And if we're not careful, it's going to actually be this unrest. You know, we might silence the boers in this situation, but it's going to come back harder and stronger next time. You know, and maybe that Reclaim Australia rally that was, you know, a couple of weeks ago, maybe that grows, because I think what's happened in this debate, the Adam Goods debate, it started off 14 months ago now, and a lot of these people here had different opinions, and they voiced them and were labelled racist, and these people here are now rebelling against that, and they're sort of, I don't know, my general feeling is that they're sort of getting pushed back towards here. So that's just an observation. But basically what happens here, to go quickly through the rest of the levels, is that, you know, these people, what tends to happen is these people don't get a lot done, you know, on a corporate level, because there's so much consensus needed, because everyone's considered equal, not a lot gets done, and on a personal level, that as well. And so there tends to be money issues. And so what happens is, to move on to the next level, people sort of move through that and just sort of get sick of the money issues and the way, you know, sometimes things can operate on this level, and they move on to a results orientated level, where basically they take the core values from this group and then they put some action behind it, and, you know, it's all about what gets the best results, what works. You know, they're all about systems, and these people can move between the values levels. So basically, you know, maintain rapport and get on with people from all levels. And probably the best example of this is some of the billionaires on the planet at the moment. You know, they've started off here, very business minded, but now they're looking to solve some of the world's problems. So that's probably the best example of level 7. But what happens is, what sometimes happens is some of these people still want it to be still want to be a part of something bigger, and so they move on to level 8, which is holistic. And this is Dalai Lama's probably the best example I can come up with for this. I'm pretty sure he's the level 8. And these people think and act globally. They think of the world as one big living entity, and whatever saves the planet, whatever's good for the planet is what's right. So basically, to sum up this, to do with the Adam Goods situation, you can imagine these people, if these green mobs are telling them what to do, these people are just saying, get stuffed, and there's a bit of rebellion there. So that's I hope that helps you understand what's going on. That's the way I'm seeing it anyway. So I'd love to hear any opinions. I'll put on my padding, my armour, because I'm expecting to cop a bit of a hiding about all this. But so I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what you think, and chat to you soon. This is Damien Murdoch, Mindset Coach. Goodbye.